Good afternoon, Dr. Mack.
Good
Good.
afternoon, Pastor Shirley. How are
Oh,
you?
I am wonderfully well, and I know you are too.
Yes,
I'm
feeling
just happy to be.
really blessed.
Yes, ma'am, and I'm happy to be here again with you today on the Mother's Board Inc. And we have some great suggestions as topics today, and I am just so happy to get into it. And everybody, thank you so much for being here with us. And Dr. Mack, I'll ask you if you will to do our prayer, please.
Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day. We thank you for those who have joined us and for those who would have if things had been different. But let us learn to share as we give our opinions on topics. We're not trying to convince anyone to do something other than what they feel in their hearts and what they have prayed over. It's important
Right.
that we talk about the things that surround us as we go through each of our day. These and the many blessings I ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Wonderful prayer. I know God heard that. We are just so we are just so happy to be here. I get really happy because we're able to relay information and suggest things and just give people something to think about. Think about. And so today we're going right. Oh, Dr. Mack, would you like to have some opening words?
Oh no, you're giving it to them. Your words that you're sharing with them are as bright as the sun outside, and sun for us means it means life. And you are saying to them that these questions have to do with the cultural aspects of our lives, but
That's right.
for us, that spiritual aspect is real, is higher than anything else. It's the spiritual aspect. But in order, I firmly believe we none of this cultural stuff works without the spiritual aspect.
So true. So true. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, we'll get right into it. What is one takeaway from the 1 hour and 48 minutes State of the Union address? All right.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Please, please.
I actually had it on. I will admit that I was working on something else as it was on because I have problems just focusing. Um, the one thing I heard nothing that I hadn't heard before from
Hmm.
either a notes conference or something that was read. The U.S. men's hockey team that was new, and then the persons that he saluted as warriors. They're always different. Um, but I actually didn't hear anything that I hadn't heard before, and it seemed like a what do you call it? Reinforcement of what he had said before. It's
Hmm.
um, it's like okay, I said this to you, and I'm going to say it again, and it's the definition my poli sci professor used to give at GSU. He says some people define truths as what is believed by the majority of the people at a given time, and he'd add this caveat by saying, some people think if you say it over and over, longer and louder, it becomes truth. But I didn't agree with that then, and I don't agree with that now. God rest his soul. God rest his soul. Dr. McNeil has gone on to the great beyond, but he did have an influence. But no, it was no, there was no new policy announcement that hadn't been said, no new proposed announcement that hadn't been said before.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
the little bird walks, little
Hmm.
throwing arrows at the Democrats. That's
Hmm.
he didn't do that as much as normal, and I was really glad that I could Sandy Wiles, who's in there with him now, um, you know, keep it serious. You've got these bulk millionaire, billionaire donors giving you money, so keep it serious. And he acted more like a president that I can say. But
Okay.
other than that, nothing, nothing, nothing.
I say same old soup warm. warmed over. It's
Yep.
old soup warmed over. Hello, Nick. Okay. Yes, same old soup. Nick just came in. My favorite grandson.
Hello.
Hello.
I know.
It's Sister
Hi, Nick.
McAllister.
Yeah, hello. Hello there.
How are you?
uh,
Is everything?
okay.
Is
Okay.
everything?
You leaving?
Yeah.
Oh,
What
my
do you need?
Walgreens.
I'll stop by there.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Love you. All right, everybody. I'm back. I had to talk to my grandson. Oh yes.
Okay.
So I thinking about it, and I was looking at some comments about it, and what it was saying. It's just like it's saying the same thing, but
Yes.
yet nothing ever comes to fruition with the promises, with the supposedly promise positive promises to try to satisfy everybody. But it's just about the same old thing over and over again, over and over again.
Pastor Shirley, may I interject and say that the first person that he talked to, the mother with the IVF
Mm-hmm.
situation, as
Mm-hmm.
we had heard during the campaign, a negative, it goes with the you know
Mm-hmm.
abortion, and then the IVF. He was going to make it available, and a few weeks back, I read an article regarding, women were asking, how do we get it? We're being told it's unavailable. So I'm sure that is what prompted that particular speaker. You know, IVF is very expensive. And then you get into, for African Americans, we get into the racial aspect of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a procedure that will be available to all, or are we being very selective? And then, we get these articles that we need more children being born. We are not having, as many children. Um, and a lot of them is it's because, we want the IVF treatment, and the government's supposed to be subsidizing it. And you know, another promise made, and by that one woman standing up, another promise kept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he thinks. Well, anyway, yeah. Always something mixed in to try to boost morale, but then
Yeah,
things said,
yeah.
but they never come in as a favor or as a positive for the majority of the people. And so I was looking here, and it was talking about his State of the Union. He covered immigration, he covered economy, and foreign policy. And it said he proposed new retirement programs, highlighted
Said
lower mortgage rates, and
better.
announced tech energy cost sharing. And he also touted, uh, let me get back here and get it right. Okay, economic achievements while addressing
Mm-hmm,
crime and immigration. And it
mm-hmm.
was it was saying like he says so much, but so much of it is just talk.
It's
So it's all,
repetition.
yes, ma'am, all mixed in. Like I was saying, the same old soup warmed over.
Moved
If it,
over.
if it sounds good, I'm going to say it whether I mean it or not. But to some people, hey, it is coming to pass, to the people who are gaining money and all that's coming to pass.
Yeah.
And somebody said something the other day that so many people voted for him
Mm-hmm.
because he had said a certain group of people. He had said what he was going to do, and they voted for him. And now things have turned away, and so now they're trying to get into politics and taking many of the spots that other ethnic groups have. They're trying
Yes.
to, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they feel that if they lose the midterms, and they definitely will lose in 28, but we have to, as an ethnic group, we have to keep listening and hearing and doing. None of us any good without the doing part of it. Just like I was sitting there, and many others were sitting there going, "Yeah, said that before." Yeah. In fact, the Democrat responded, pointing out those things that, what, but the whole point is, what is it going to do for me now and in the immediate future? I don't need to hear about the far off plans. I really need to hear, you know, um, uh, uh, beef, $10 a pound. Come on, that's a lot. And you like to brag about bringing that price of eggs up, but then the price of the sausage and the bacon and the chorizo and all the other stuff that goes with it went up. You can have an egg, but I like to
Right.
have a little something else with it when I
Right.
when I
And the
eat.
one that makes the eggs is out of control. The price, the one
Right.
that the beef comes from, I mean, oh my goodness, it's something
Yeah.
else. But you know what? We are still thriving. And some
Yes.
people don't get it, but like, what do you say? This too will
Sure.
pass. But that address, and it was said that it's just talk, 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 and many of the things that were said is just talk, and
Yeah.
it's never meant to really be brought into action. And we've seen that. We've seen it. We've seen it. Oh yes, we have. So next, were uh, were you impressed with the Democratic response by the newly elected Virginia statesman? Is this a woman? Okay.
Yeah,
And
it was a woman.
why or why not? Why or why not? I just saw a bit of it. I didn't go off into it, but I'm pretty sure what she said was positive
It was. Trust me. It was.
and worth listening to.
Yes. And yeah, I've heard her speak before, and I think she speaks in the sort of like Crockett, but at the same time, she's speaking for the state of Virginia. She
Hmm.
was not supposed to win. Virginia is a Republican state.
Right.
She was a Democrat, and
Yes,
she
ma'am.
ran a very low key race and said the things that need to be said. And she asked the question, "Is the president taking care of that now?" You know, and
Hmm.
the answer was what? No, no, no. I don't know, but it came to me, Pastor. Uh, why is this interest in international politics such a thriving force when these questions that were asked by the Virginia respondent were about not over in Iran and not over in Ukraine, but about within the confines of the United States?
Hmm.
They were questions of daily living, what they call kitchen table topic.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
think that's where we all are now. Um, don't have, kitchen table topics, but, even during the day, you're going through and you're thinking about the fact, oh, wow, I used to be able to put that in the laundry. I mean, we call it cleaners,
Hmm.
but I used to be
Hmm.
able to put this in the laundry, but I wonder how much does that cost now? And then the next question is my laundry still open? I haven't been
Right.
in a
Right.
long,
That's the
I mean,
first thing. Are they still there?
right. I'm like, okay, when Rudy's fried chicken closes after 30 years or so, you have to go, whoa, wait, wait. And he's still making money, but the cost of making money is very high now,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So, and the New York sub shop over up by SMU, yeah, they're
Hmm.
going out too. They're making money, but they can't, the rent is too high, as he
Yeah.
says.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to do it on. So Yeah,
Oh, that's
availability.
your,
So could you go
yeah.
take it for a moment? I think that's the pharmacy making the
Oh,
delivery.
sure.
Excuse me.
Okay. All right then. So yes, we're talking about the response to the long speech, and any I know many people are being disappointed. She's talking about the price of food. Now eggs have gone down, and thank the Lord, because I like to buy the 18 count at Walmart's, and so they're reasonable to me compared to what they were a few months ago. And some things have gone down, but the other things that have gone up, they take in that we're saving, so we're paying something else, and we're paying that extra high money for that we were saving buying the eggs. But there's always something to take that up. And so we're in a crisis, but like I reiterate so much, we are survivors and we are
Amen.
thrivers. And
Amen.
whatever comes and goes, we are going to be all right.
All right.
This too, as Dr. Max said, will pass.
It will.
Oh yes, and I'm totally I know that, and it's when you know something and you know it to be a fact, because we have lived some decades and we've seen things come, we've seen them go, we've seen them go around and come back again, and yet we are still here.
And yet we are here.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
our trouble started when the wars in Africa started before we even got on boats. But guess what? He has let us survive. He has
Yes.
let, and it's what a wonderful thought to close out Black History Month. And I've been thinking about that, how we got here to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Mm-hmm.
purpose that we were brought for. And, some people are still struggling with that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
people are struggling, and then of course, but we built this nation physically, built this nation, and they can try to negate that fact or whatever they want to do. But if it had not been for these brown skinned people, and some of them are dark brown, and when they brought us over here, but now since we've all been, our families' purity has been violated. We're all one nation. They can say not, but we're all one people because we're all mixed in there together.
Together.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. All of us, all
Yes.
different tones and hues and everything. It cannot be denied. Cannot be denied. And everybody, every family has some brown in it.
Like it or not.
That's right.
Like it or
Every family. And so, I'm like Rodney King, and we know it's not possible, but why can't we all get along?
I don't know why it's not possible. Because if we're understanding what you just said, which is right there, we're all mixed in here. So, but I guess that's human nature. But we are mixed, and what you want for your family is what I want for my family. I may
Exactly.
not live on your side of town, or back
Mm-hmm.
home we call it across the tracks, or up
Mm-hmm.
in the quarters, or okay. But the truth is, our desires for our kids are no different than yours. Our desires to wish up in our way is no different from yours. You know, I'm not going to come into your place of wish up and try and tell you how to do it. And I really don't want you into mine, nor do I want you in there disrupting a service
Mm-hmm.
of any kind. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're absolutely right. And I do think of that a lot. Why can't we just get along? I think that, and I have no answer, but I do think of the question.
Yeah, it's biblical, and we've that's been proven to be the truth. Evil men will wax worse and worse. People will be divided. Even the homes will be divided against each other. The children
Yeah.
don't like the mama doesn't like some of the children, the mama doesn't like the daddy doesn't like the mama, children don't like the daddy. And then it just goes on from there. This neighbor doesn't like this one because this one might have something that I don't have, and I don't like that. I should be able to have what they have. And then, it's just so much, but it's to be. It's to
To
be.
be. To
Uh-huh.
be.
It is to be. And so, but we have a choice. We have a choice to be positive or negative. And we have a choice and the opportunity to be good, do good, and as much good as we can to our fellow man. And when we've gone as far as we can, then we can pray for them and
Yeah.
pray with them. And so that's what's sustaining us today, because somebody is praying in this
Yes.
world. Somebody is praying, because if they weren't, I think this world would have been destroyed a long
A
time
long
ago.
time.
But God is he's holding on and being patient, because there are many of us here who haven't made the choice to do the right thing yet.
Well, I always think in terms that we're standing on the shoulders of our ancestors, the ones we never knew, the ones that
Mm-hmm.
go back generation. Um,
Yeah.
Even before ancestry interest was popular, we've
Mm-hmm.
been standing on their shoulders.
That's
Their
right.
shoulders have will carry forth other generations. I can
Right.
only pray that my shoulders are broad enough and that I
Mm-hmm.
look to wisdom and understanding enough to help the next generation.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. And so that's it. That's part of the good, to make a straight path as straight as we can for the next generation. Yes, and to show them the positive aspects of life. And you can do this if you just be industrious, if you just be wise, and you can do this and you can do that. Sometimes you have to physically push your way, but sometimes you can mentally push forward too.
That's very
Mm-hmm. Yes,
true.
ma'am. So as a man thinks,
So
so
is he.
yes, ma'am. And so if you think positive, even though you'll have obstacles in your way, you can still push through. Both ways, or either one at a time, however, but don't give up. Hey, don't give up. We are really doing well compared to some people, even
Yes.
though we know that they're trying to take the United States backwards, as well as, as well as far as equal rights and civil rights and all of that. But it's impossible. They're not going to be able to do it. They can pass all kinds of laws and do whatever they want to, but there is always a way to get past that.
Hmm.
Always a way.
Well, I think of the song that I used to sing on Sunday. The Lord will make a way somehow.
Somehow.
Yes, Lord.
That's right. And he is making it too. Okay. You did comment on that, right?
Yes.
Do you believe that the situation in Mexico and the situation off the coast of Cuba are related? Well, go right ahead, doctor.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, when I woke up Sunday morning, I'm thinking, okay, they're doing what? The Americans are told to do what in Mexico, shelter in place, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And I know a lot of retirees who have moved to Mexico. I mean, they have homes in Mexico. They consider that their home now, and but is this a situation where the cartel? Someone went in. Well, the army. They said the Mexican army went in and killed the leader of the largest cartel, and that was fighting in the streets. Well, that was the beginning of the week. We end the week with people being killed, having stolen a speedboat, being killed, trying to, according to Cuba, um, infiltrate the island of Cuba because they're loyal to Fidel. Pastor Shirley, isn't Fidel dead? Hadn't he been dead quite a
I
while?
think he is, isn't he?
Yeah, I
It's
think
it's
he
been
is
a
too.
while.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. I can understand Mexico. I can do that because we're saying the cartels are bad, and the friends who live there do attest to that. Going out at night is not something they do. They haven't done it in years, um, and they won't come home. They love the place, because they can live very well there. But in Cuba, uh, when our leaders started talking about Cuba, first of all, when you cut the Venezuelan oil off, you cut their oil supply off. So, and you're telling me patriots here in Florida decided that this would be a good time to attack, and you didn't have enough. This wasn't the Armada. The Armada's over in Iran. So all of this, the timing of it, I'm just wondering, what do you think about the timing of this? And it will affect us sooner or later. So there's no point in us saying it doesn't matter to me. Yes, it does. I can't hear you.
I had shut my mic off because Castro died in 2016, in November 2016. But and I was getting that
Good.
information, and
Oh,
I
thank you.
got to turn my mic back on. But
What do you?
everything is eventually is going to be connected. And I was looking at
Okay.
this where it said that Mexico stopped shipping oil to Cuba,
Yeah,
because of the pressure from this
country.
administration.
Right.
And we know it's just one person. So anyway, there's just so much because the grab for power is that's the whole thing. And so we can only hear, and we can choose to believe or not believe or be skeptical about the information we hear through the media, because it's going to be spent the way that the person in control wants to spend it. So how do we know unless we're there to witness what's going on? Much of it is propaganda.
And I thank you for saying propaganda because we have to weigh the newscast with a grain of salt. But at the
Mhm.
same time, we need to go back to being what is it, the one who's sitting at the back door, hearing and connecting the dots.
Oh yes, and
Yeah,
that's where we come in. That being especially let me see, I'm serious. I guess that's the word. Or vigilant about
vigilant.
finding the truth, and I believe that the truth will come to us, but we have to search it out and just weigh the issues and see, and we can feel what's going on, because we know that it has been proven that many, many, many untruthful statements have been made for years and years, and they expect us to just be gullible enough to believe everything that comes out of their mouths. So we
That's
have
true.
to really, 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 and the way to that we can do is, and I'm pretty sure you do it, is we can search out many different sources on the same
Right,
subject.
right.
Uh-huh. And if they have, the majority have kind of like the same story on the same trend, then you can put some weight into it. But
Yes.
what is it? Believe? What is it? What does it believe? Half?
half
None?
of what you half of
What you
what you
say?
hear, and the other part was the C part. I'm not sure, but I know
None
where
of
you're
what you
going
hear
with
and
it.
half of what you see. Would
Yeah,
it be that? Something
that was
like that.
that's getting pretty close, and I'm not even sure I can do that now.
For real, for real.
Uh,
And
and we
so
can't
that's
say
the
it's
thing.
AI's fault. It's not AI, but we people they've been manipulating that story a long time.
Oh yes, oh yes, and they have to. And if they just think AI would not exist without human beings,
Right. Let's
and
go
the
back to
human
the
beings,
beginning.
right, are the programmers of the
Right.
AI.
They don't code themselves.
Right,
That's
like these movies we see, they just take over. Oh, Dr. Mac, this is good. So you have anything else to say
oh
on
no,
that?
no.
Okay. Okay, now we're getting to President Clinton and Secretary of State Clinton. And how do you feel? Do you feel that they should be called to testify if they have something to do with it? If they have some information, positive or negative, if they were involved, I'm not saying they were. Whatever they have, if it can help, I'm all for it because they're
Yeah.
very wise people. They know what to say and what not to say. They
And-
did not survive politics this long.
right. And, and and people forget they were lawyers. They're both lawyers. I mean,
They
all
are.
these people started out as lawyers, good, better, and different. They were lawyers, so they know. But were you finished, Pastor?
Oh, yes, yes.
Secretary of State Clinton testified yesterday, and when they issued the subpoena, I understand why they said no and then changed their mind. But she didn't have anything to say about Epstein, and I mean, those who issued the subpoena knew that. But the other part of that is this part of the revenge politics. Is this my making you come? You know, I've got the power to drag you in here in front of this committee, and even the her testimony had to be stopped because Bobbitt uh, tweeted out a picture of what should have been a closed door situation. That's what you promised her. But guess what? She didn't get all mad about it. She stayed and she finished her testimony. Now, she was 7 hours, 6 or 7 hours. He will be longer. He's up to
Mhm.
date. That's President Clinton. Now there are pictures of him in the Epstein file, but I don't think she can answer for him. That's who should have been called. And as the guy said, and the next person who should be called sits at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But that's not going to happen. And, give me a break. I think as we were tying the dots together, linking the dots, that's going to be an interesting dot on that piece of paper. But he's going to come in and deny everything, just as everyone else has. But I, even though the president said, I don't think he should be called. Well, they were friends, during this Epstein era. Uh, Clinton and, yeah, they were friends. Clinton, Trump, and Epstein, they were friends. So, hey, he's not going to come talk about his friendship with him because they travel in the same circles. But he says he did nothing wrong. But the pictures show him with some other people who he shouldn't be with. Um, uh, but you still aren't getting the person you should be getting, or the person who has something to say that's relevant. Anything Clinton has to say is old news. And it's, as my great aunt used to say, it's between him and his God now. You close your eyes and you open them up, hope St. Peter is pointing in the right direction.
Mhm.
But that's with him.
Mhm.
But I'm not sure there's not a little bit of revenge going on in this situation. And it shouldn't be. Again, as you said at the beginning, you're supposed to have a certain amount of, but we've seen how he treat foreign dignitaries and the like. I don't know. Let's just say other people were treated differently. Treated
And
differently.
yes, and the thing about the media and the pictures and the people being called to testify, some they know that if they connect them, even if they call them in, if they have nothing to do with it, if they want to instigate or uh, put a picture out there and make people believe that they had something to do with it, all they have to do is just what they are doing now. Call her in, even though she has nothing in the world to do with this. But once you get her connected, then those negative people who want to think the negative things and don't like
It's
those
true.
people,
True.
they that will let me see, justify to themselves, that, yeah, she's guilty. Yeah, he was in there too, or he did this and all of that. So the connection is the connection.
You're right.
It's
You're
the
right.
connection. If I could just connect them, whether they are guilty or not, just that connection, get them inside those news reports, then the negative people who want them to be bad or connected with that nastiness, that satisfies them so that they can believe what they want to believe anyway. It's just a big old nasty, nasty game that they
Yeah.
play. Yes, ma'am. And they're
With the
playing it.
dash with the dash of revenge thrown
Yes,
in.
that's it. That's what I'm saying. And the revenge is okay, you call them in, even though they know they have nothing to do with it, especially Hillary. And then you remember when they tried to connect Jimmy, was that Jimmy Kimmel? I think
Yes.
that guy mentioned his name in there. Jimmy Kimmel had nothing to do with that. But
Well,
what is that? Guilty by association. And that's how
association.
people like to
Absolutely.
justify it, even though the people had nothing to do with it. But if they want them to be guilty, they will put their name in there.
Well, look what they did. They've already said Jay-Z was there. He'd been there. And then at the same time, in yesterday's writings, numerous writings, it said,
Hmm.
well, Epstein wouldn't have anything to do with Sean Diddy Combs. And I thought to myself, no, because Combs is we're talking Diddy. You know, both of them better hope they open their eyes and get pointed in the right direction. You know, unreal. But as you're saying, guilty by association. But
Yes.
I really thought she should not have been
Well, of
subpoenaed at
course
all.
not. But that's
I
their
just
way of dirtying her and connecting her, because
That's
some
true.
people now they are justifying their uh, belief that she had something to do with it when the lady didn't. But that's the way they connect in dirty people's
Yeah.
names. Yeah, that's that strategy, that evil strategy that they do. And the
Oh,
one, like you were saying, the guilty party is the one that's sitting free and clear,
and
and
will
and
never be called.
and made
Never.
sure of that, really almost before he took that office over for the second time. Got the
Yes, I
Supreme
think they
Court
did.
on his side, the Senate, and all that, where I can't be uh, charged, I can't be, all these charges and
Yeah,
things. They can't touch me. And all of
and
the
he
people who go right ahead, yes, go right ahead.
and he made the joke about not inviting U.S. women's hockey team. He had to invite them, otherwise he would have been impeached. He invited the men, but the women, I knew they were not going to go. Women are a little different. We see things differently. You know, um, he, come on, unreal. Anyway, next question.
He was getting ahead of it because he knew, just like you
Yeah.
said, they were going to decline, more than likely they were going to decline.
Yes,
So
they were.
to
They
save
were.
the embarrassment, he
No.
got ahead of it. But we know, God, we know. Governor Greg Abbott issued the following statement regarding President Donald Trump's State of the Union address. I thank President Trump for his leadership
Mhm.
and look forward to welcoming him. Of course, that's today, uh, to
Yes, he's here.
Texas, to Texas this Friday, the final Friday of early voting for the 2026 Texas primary election. Do you think the president's visit is designed to promote the GOP or to promote Governor Abbott's bid for reelection? Is it my time or yours?
Yeah, it's yours. It's yours.
Okay, it's all working together. It's the double purpose to promote GOP and him.
It's the stew. It's all in the
Yes,
same
it's
pot.
all yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sure is. And hey, can you blame him? Because if it was me and I was from my particular party, I'd do it too.
Mm, well,
Oh, to promote the parties. That's what they, you know what I'm saying? That's what they
yes,
do.
but
That's what they do. And so, hey, and do you think it's going to help the GOP or whichever party, but the ones that seem to be doing all the things are the GOP, in which he's a part of. But then, earlier he, in the first run, didn't he say he's not a politician? I'm not a Republican, but oh,
he's
now,
running. Yeah, he's running. Yeah, GOP is the banner he runs under, but
uh-huh.
most of the persons have now accepted the fact that GOP and MAGA are not the same. They don't have the same. And I'm thinking, I didn't think so, but
No, they're not the
in
same.
with a rating, you know what is disapproval rating is really high. It's 59-60%. Um, the one thing on the immigration that he thought he was winning on when those ICE agents killed the two people in Minneapolis, that sort of made people look. But this week, no, last week, it turned out ICE agents kills a young person, a male, here in Texas, even before then. But it was rather covered up. They killed him, killed the. So that's three people, not two. I don't know how you feel about ICE, but I don't understand why we couldn't have, why we didn't use the National Guard. Why do we need another police force that answers pretty much only to him through through his selected head? Well, he selected all of his heads, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand why we need a third one, but he does, and but I see it as his own police force. If
That's
they
it.
come at whatever he wants when he wants them to be wherever, but the cities are pushing back. Not in my city. Not in my city. You know, because these are all things you wanted to do during your first term, and now
Hmm.
you think the Supreme Court has given you reason to do whatever you want, but they are beginning to push back a little too.
Hmm. Yep. These things only uh, happen for a season and then they're gone. And well, I won't go on that speech yet. I'm going to go on. Okay.
No, but I would like to hear what you were thinking.
Oh, I'll come back to it.
Okay.
Yes, yes. But it is so. Has your opinion changed regarding the status of the Dallas City Hall uh, changed now that the detailed report regarding remodel or rebuilding has been released?
Oh, well, not. I was always undecided. I understand the people who want to keep the beautiful architectural structure, because it's one of a kind, and you know it anywhere you see it. But I also understand the people who have to go to work there every day, and everything is broken and fallen down, and the fact that you could sell it to the Dallas Mavericks and keep them downtown. I said Dallas Mavericks because I'm partial to the Mavericks, but um, so I'm still middle of the road. But it is when you're talking three-digit billion dollars. That's something to think about, along with the other things that you're going to ask the citizens of Dallas to help carry the burden of the
Mhm.
financial burden of. So it just what it did is it gave me clarity as to the fact that the remodeling is really going to cost a lot, really going to cost. But um, having a building easily recognized by an architect who is very famous. But since I work forever and a day,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go right now. I'm leaning on the side of the workers. You know, if you're gonna sell it to someone that's gonna keep it in the city and do it some good. Um, but I don't know if the citizens are ready to pay more. I don't think they are. What do you think?
Well, I I don't, I really am. If they build, if they remodel, it's okay with me, whatever they do. But the thing about that building with me is that whenever I go down there, I look up and I think I know the thing's not going to fall on me. I hope not. But I just I
I
cannot
know.
stand being under there. I cannot stand it. So they want to rebuild or if they want to remodel,
If
just
they want to rebuild,
yeah,
use a different structure, please.
yeah, because that always gets me. Even when I see it on a picture or on TV, it bothers me because I'm thinking that thing can fall on us,
No.
even though it's structurally well, it's sound, but still. It is a possibility that it could fall and crumble.
Always.
That's the problem now. That's why they're doing this. But I that's my personal thing. But go down there to do the water bill, or go down there for a city council meeting, or I've been down there for something else also. And like I said, every time I come out and I look up, I say, "Oh my Lord, it's
Well,
nice, ingenious design." So whatever they decide to do, I know it'll be good for us. And so
yeah.
they're gonna one way or another,
Do
like
what's
this,
right for the citizens.
uh-huh. Because
That's
if they're gonna add more tax money, well, there's this person it said if they don't get you going up, they'll get you coming down. So either
either
way,
way. Either
either
way.
way, yes. But I'm all for whatever they decide to do. Oh yes. And you, Dr. Mack, you too.
Yeah, I really am.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh,
do remember those who go in there every day, because there are those who spend the 8, 9 hours in the building.
right. Right. Yes. All right. This is very interesting. So, with the shutdown of the federal government continuing, do you believe that the security concerns regarding the forthcoming FIFA games will be resolved satisfactorily? Hmm. I
Um,
Yeah. Go right.
I uh, um, uh, I think they're gonna get it together
Mm-hmm.
because they had the group testifying, well, giving their comments, but because the cities are saying we want them, but we want to be able to secure these visitors. Secure our own citizens, but we
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to secure these people coming from out of the United States and places like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say this, but again, you know how we talk about the persons not reading in DC, the ones that have their aids reading or don't read at all. I don't think they understood when they were, putting the kibosh on this that these all of these, because I didn't realize the Coast Guard came under um, the and the TSA. I didn't think that would be effective, but they are effective. And as the young man said in Arlington, they're going to need the money for the extra police, the extra drones, the extra whatever to keep
Mm-hmm.
everyone safe. And
Right.
and they have a plan for hides to be paid. There was supposed to be a federal grant. There was supposed to be state contributions, and then there local contributions. So I think they're going to sit down and get this together because another international incident would be very bad. I think they'll do it. And some of that, all of that's why I like to have these kinds of things because some of the improvements stay with the cities, you
Right.
know. They can't take them with them, but some of the good stuff is going to stay here even after
Right.
the games are over.
That's right. So hey, that's a positive, isn't it? Oh
Yes,
yes, there.
it's embarrassing if we can't do it.
It'll be done. You know, they're gonna work. They will work that out because Dallas is
Yeah.
not going to Texas is not going to lose any. No, they're gonna make sure that that comes forth and that everything is going to be just right when it does. Yeah. So now we're getting to the attack ads. Do you think they're effective? Why? Why not? Well, I think they're effective to a certain point because even though they're not all truthful.
Right. Oh, that's
But yeah.
definitely right. And you notice these I was very impressed by one of the candidates says we're saying these things and as soon as the election is over, we've already agreed. These were the Democrats. We already agreed that we are all going to get together and we're going to sit down and we're going to come back as a one unified party. And I thought that was great. You know,
Hmm.
because during the presidential election, I hated
Hmm.
the ads because they were designed to personally attack people.
Hmm.
So far, we've gotten Ken Paxton. His wife is divorcing him on biblical grounds, but that's
Oh.
designed for the persons who's going. And then we have it. He had an affair, and he engaged in an affair with another married woman. Come on, but we know that's Ken Paxton. We had days and days of his impeachment trial that led to nothing. Um, $6.6 million they had to pay out to the whistleblowers because he sued them. So enough. But they're cleaner. These are so much cleaner than the ones we saw when Trump was running against Harris.
Hmm.
Just saying ugly things. That was unnecessary, and he should have lost because of that, if nothing else.
Well, he lost anyway. They just took the election, and I'll believe that until eternity. When I get up to heaven, I know God's not gonna want to talk about it, so
Peter's
I
not
won't
gonna let
bother
you
him with it. I won't bother him with it. But I know that's why
talk.
Elon and all of his people were involved, and he gave him that 130 days.
Yeah, well, he literally did give him. You got to say 130 days, and he is
Hmm.
not as quiet as people think he's doing. He's working behind the scenes. Things are still going on with him.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes.
Oh yeah. But I tell you, he's set for life with that. How was it, $1 billion? How many billions is his salary? But he has to produce, and so I know they know he has no problem producing with what is it, Tesla?
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
going to get that
Hmm.
done because that's not something that he'd been working on that years before.
Right.
Trump
Right.
needed, Trump needed him more than he needed. Trump.
Right. And then
Yeah.
we're probably still paying him. What is it, $8 million a day?
Oh, you
Uh,
mean for his contracts with the government?
Elon. Uh huh. I think it's $8 million a day.
I'm sure we still have contracts
Oh
because he
yeah.
was smart enough while everyone else is running around doing this and
Mhm.
that and the other. He's smart enough to keep his eyes on the prize.
Oh
You want a
yes.
space race, and I want a space race. So I want to, you are going to contract with me without even knowing it.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh yes.
you want
So
your astronauts down? I'll get them down for you.
hey, pay me. Was it show me the money?
Yeah. Want to count the Benjamins. Need the Benjamins counted.
All right, this is wonderful. Now that the Winter Olympics for special needs will begin soon, what encouragement would you share with others us to this second phase of the winter sports.
Special Olympics. This is
Mhm.
the Special Olympics.
Mhm.
Uh, Mine would be just to see there's nothing you can't do. Um, you are doing the same as you are accomplishing some of the same feats that were accomplished in part one. You are accomplishing them, but you're just doing it differently, you
Mhm.
know. And we support you just as much as we do the others.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because they're so proud of
Right.
themselves. Okay, I guess it's 1 o'clock.
Shirley,
Okay,
here is your
Alexa,
reminder.
Oh,
pause.
let's get the last one about the
Yeah, here we
McDonald's.
go. Right, right. Yes. How did you how did you
Shirley, here is
react
your reminder.
to the serving
Sign off of the
of
Mother's Board
McDonald
Incorporated
burgers
webcast.
by the president to the men's US hockey gold
Shirley,
medal
here is your
team?
reminder. Sign off of the Mother's Board
Go right ahead.
Incorporated webcast.
Yeah.
I read the critical reviews, and this isn't the first time he served the sports team burgers. He served the Georgia team burgers. You know, he likes burgers, so he was sharing with them what he likes. You know, but those who came looking for lobster and steak and all that, they were disappointed because had you just looked back historically to what he served for lunch, you would have known it was burgers he didn't even have the chefs. He had it brought in from McDonald's. But I do think he could do better, because
Oh, he
he liked it. But in a way, he was being gracious. This is what I like to eat. I'm sharing it with you. But I do think he could have done better, Pastor.
Oh,
Seriously.
he could have done much, much better. But and then I also will. I don't know whether I say entertain, but I'll let it peep in to my mind that he could have been showing that he could be down to earth,
Hmm.
you know, by eating a common meal. I guess you would call it a common meal or that kind of meal with the people. I eat burgers too, and let's just share some burgers. So I believe that was probably on his mind too, maybe. And
And
so
then and he's eating with his inner circle, with the Rubio, and he said they've eaten burgers. They've on the Air Force One.
uh,
He likes burgers. He likes
uh-huh,
McDonald's burgers. So
right, and so
yeah,
that's
yeah, I would
that would
like for him to
go right ahead. Tess.
just try next time to. If the women come, serve something else, but I don't expect them to come. I really don't expect
Not
them
during
to
the term. Oh my goodness. But so it's a thing. It used to be a really, really big thing to be invited to the White House and be able
Yes,
to sit and talk with the first lady and the president. But
I love.
now people are
Mm.
declining left and right. And I was looking at the where Jesse Jackson's son and daughter said that they were going to attend that speech, but their mother declined. They
Yes,
said, but we'll be there. And so, people, I mean, it's just something that they'll decline because they don't want to hear that stuff. They've been insulted for years. And then you expect somebody to be happy because you asked them to come to you and you don't know what they might say.
that's the part. If but
Mm-hmm.
that was the actual first time I have heard him try to keep a sane, coherent
Mm-hmm.
message going on. And I looked up at JD Vance and I thought, I know you could do better, but I don't think you're going to ever get the chance because of the association with this gentleman. Because he's not going to endorse him. He won't. He has someone else in mind.
Well, I tell you, but anyway, you know what they like my brother Danny says, because then nobody can predict him. Because one
Mm-mm.
thing about I'm going to say
He-
his name, Donald is J. Trump. One thing about it is he's his own person, good or bad, and he's going to do what Donald Trump wants to do. And so, as far as people expecting things from him, he might say today that I'm going to do this for you, and tomorrow, or maybe the next few minutes, oh,
I'm,
well,
I'm
I'm
not.
changing my mind. So none of the people up there in his circle really, I know they're not so naive that they believe everything that comes out of his mouth or out of his thoughts, however, on paper, whatever, in the wee hours of the night, because they
Mhm.
themselves don't know what he might say or do um, from one minute to the next. And it's because he is who he is, and he is himself, and it is what it is. And anybody
Hey,
that puts any stake in, believing and trusting from the record, they can see the record. Elder David said, let the record speak for itself.
speak
And
for
so I'm
itself.
not right, and I'm not negatively or positively, whatever. I'm in the middle. And for one thing I say, he is himself, and he's going to do what he wants to do. Now that is a fact.
Well, Pastor Shirley, I think we're down to the end there with the McDonald burgers. I think that was the
and
end
he,
of it.
and he, he could have been trying to be down to earth with the people,
There.
and so I,
Yeah,
I'll
you're
I'll
right. I
yeah,
know he
uh-huh.
likes McDonald's though personally.
Hmm. Hmm.
He eats it all the time, so he wasn't, belittling at
Right.
all.
Well, yeah, so we're five over, but that's just fine and dandy, Dr. Mack, because we have had great discussions. We went through every one of our suggested topics here. So at this time, Dr. Mack is going to make her announcement, tell you where you can find the biblical files of Dr. Mack and when.
We've been we've been revamping. We're back on Wednesday, and it will be under from the Biblical Files of Dr. Mack, and I'll still be shooting him over to Pastor Shirley too. So we're gonna look at those ecclesiastic women, and I am so excited about this Song of Songs. I'm just excited. The daughters of Zion and Isaiah. So we'll be going for. And
Uh,
Pastor Shirley, would you like to give your events?
oh, yes. And I would like to announce that coming tomorrow is the 17th annual uh, church history conference that's hosted by the founder and executive director Glenda Williams Goodson and her staff, and we will be at the Ideal Family Church, which is pastored by Bishop Ray Campbell, 1000 East Redbird Lane, tomorrow starting at 8 a.m. And our keynote speaker for the C.H. Mason luncheon is Bishop Hankerson from, was it Kansas? St. Louis, Missouri. And he will be speaking in the afternoon during the luncheon. Elijah Hankerson, he's a member of the General Board of the Church of God in Christ, which is the governing board of the International Church of God in Christ. So we're expecting a great turnout tomorrow and a great conference in general. So we're inviting you. We did have a deadline for the tickets, but if someone comes to the door, we call them subscriptions now. Many people, you can present your subscription then, and you'll be able to come in and enjoy it with the rest of us. So that's tomorrow, Saturday, the 28th of February in the year 2026, the 17th annual History Conference for the Center for African American Church History and Research, which is founded and directed by Evangelist Glenda Williams Goodson. So that's where we'll be tomorrow. Then at 1 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays is the Point of View with Ms. Shirley Polk. On Fridays, of course, is the Mother's Board Inc. with Dr. Mack and me. Then on Monday mornings at 7 a.m. is Monday mornings 5 minutes of prayer with me. And then On Saturday evening is the Saturday evening Bible lesson session with Greater Gospel Temple and Inspiration of God Ministries. And then on Sunday morning is a 7 a.m. The what is it? Sunday morning manna from heaven, live right here. So we are thankful to God that He allows us this avenue, the World Wide Web, to spread news all over the world. That's why I said the World Wide Web, and we're just so grateful, and we thank you so much for being with us on this day or whenever you're watching. We're just grateful to you for supporting us, and we thank you, thank you, thank you. So, that being said, enjoy the rest of your day, night, evening, afternoon, morning, midday, whichever it is. And we love you. Talk with
All
you
right.
later.
All right. Bye bye.